Hello and welcome to Networking Tips with Kari Mirabal. Today I'm going to share 5 networking tips in 15 minutes or less. These strategies are easy things that you can do, especially during your Houston PPDM conference. I'm sorry I will not be there live, but I am with you in spirit. And if you have any questions at the end of the presentation, all my contact information is there. And I invite everyone that hears the sound of my voice to connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know how I can help be of service to you in your networking journey. So a little bit of information. I am a former IT recruiter, and that is where I really learned the power of connection. So a lot of my body of work comes from all of those years helping people find new career opportunities. And then, of course, when LinkedIn came out, it changed the game of how we connect with people all over the world. So at that point, I did a career transition, and I got more into networking and career development coaching. I'm also a keynote speaker, so I travel all over the country and abroad, teaching people how to learn about connecting authentically with others and how to help people get from point A to point B faster. You already have the no, so what do you have to lose by going for the ask? There are going to be people who will not be interested in networking, and that's okay because there are plenty of others who will want to connect and help you because they understand the power of networking. So don't get discouraged. I do this work because I truly believe that networking is a gift. Whether you are looking to use networking as a conduit for career transition, or you're looking to share your knowledge, meet other like-minded people, help others in their journey, share your knowledge, there are so many possibilities. So when you look at networking as an adventure that you never know where it will take you, gosh, what people am I going to meet? What projects am I going to get involved in? What places will I see? For me, that's the excitement of networking. And I want to invite you to that mindset, to have a spirit of abundance instead of a spirit of scarcity. Let the reason for your networking be stronger than any fear or concerns you have about maybe not saying the right thing or being a little awkward in front of others. Networking is a gift, and I hope to invite you to look at it at the end of this presentation. I hope to shift your mindset. So we're going to get started with some networking tips that I work with and talk about in my speaking circuit. But one of the things I wanted to do first is I wanted to share with the audience that in my work, a lot of people that I get to coach, their number one concern is always they're scared. They fear talking to strangers. So I want to share one of my favorite quotes with you all now, and hopefully it will inspire you like it does me. Amelia Earhart said, "Let your fear take you to the place where you store your courage." And you will need courage in the process of networking because it can be a little intimidating to talk to people you don't know. And you know what? I'll tell you right now, we're going to make mistakes in the process. I'm a power user on LinkedIn. I love networking. I go to a lot of networking events, and I still mess up sometimes. And it's okay. If I had $1 for every time I put my foot in my mouth, but you just roll with it, and we're all human, so have grace with yourself. The first tip that I want to share with you is that it is important to understand exactly what networking is. Networking is about mutually beneficial relationships, and relationships being the key word there. It means to connect with people and help each other. It's not about me, what can I get? So it's very, very important in the networking process to explore and talk to people and consider new possibilities, but you want that to be with people who are reciprocal and understand. So unfortunately, over the years, I've worked with a lot of people that ask and ask and ask and keep asking, but they don't reciprocate. And so it's okay to say to someone, you know what, I had sent you a potential ask and I didn't hear back. Could you share with me the status of where that particular request is? And remind people, I'm here to help as much as I can, but my best possible outcome when I network is to develop mutually beneficial relationships. So if someone honors you with an ask and they want to get your advice on something, or they're asking for you to maybe point them in the right direction, consider it an honor and do everything you can to create value within your network, because what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. Networking tip number 2. I call this the go for the ask. A lot of times we meet someone, and in the process of getting to know them, we don't want to come across as needy or desperate. And I don't know why sometimes people have this idea that networking is synonymous with sales, and it isn't. There are so many other amazing benefits that can come from talking to strangers. Yes, some people will use it for sales opportunities, but a lot of people use networking for things that don't have anything to do with sales. So go for the ask and have that courage with you, because it will help equip you to ask for things that maybe in the past you felt a little intimidated about. I want to share a quick story here. I was speaking in Washington, D.C. at a conference, and I bumped into Jen Lim in the lobby of the hotel. She is the CEO of Delivering Happiness. It's a company that she and the late CEO of Zappos co-founded to create that happier company culture. And I'm really big on employee engagement and the hiring process, because I think we've been doing it wrong for so long. Having spent 20 years in the IT recruiting industry, it's really about helping employees feel comfortable and valued and appreciated. And that's what her company does. So I was like, oh my gosh, there's one of my mentors. In that moment, I had to take a deep breath, 10 seconds of courage. And I just approached her with a smile. And I said, Ms. Lim, you are one of my mentors, and I would be honored if I could shake your hand and take a photo. And she was so kind and so generous. And here I thought, wow, it's amazing when you just go for the ask. It's amazing when you can connect with people. Sometimes you're the people that you never thought would give you the time of day. And so her kindness and generosity really inspired me. And I try to be the same way when I meet people. If they want to learn something, I'm there to help and take a few minutes. You would be shocked at how a small act of kindness can really make a big impact. So let's look at networking tip number 3. Use LinkedIn QR codes to connect. So while you're in Houston at the conference, you're going to meet hopefully some new people, and that means an opportunity to exchange information. Now, while I'm not completely against using business cards, I do think it's a little bit dated, and you're at the mercy of the other person that you give your card to. What if they lose it, right? And so what if you get a new phone number or a new email address and now it's outdated? So what I love about LinkedIn is that if you have the app on your phone, which everybody should, there is a neat way to quickly connect with anyone that also has a LinkedIn profile. Let me show you the picture. This helps illustrate. One person pulls up the scan, the other person pulls up the code. And if you look at the picture on the far left, you just go to the search bar on your mobile phone, click the 4 squares, and it will automatically pop up. What I love about this is it will connect 2 people together, and boom, you walk away remembering a name with a face. You also have their email and their phone number if it's out there on their card. So this is a really quick way to connect. Another tip that I suggest is when you do connect with someone, send them a quick message. Hey, it was great to meet you at the PPDM Houston conference. We talked about blah, blah, blah. And that way, if a couple months down the road, someone reaches out and you cannot remember where you met that person, just go to your messages and boom, there's a record. So help yourself. Number 4, you want to be approachable. When you go to conferences or whenever you're networking, a smile goes a really long way. Being approachable means people feel comfortable coming up and saying hi and introducing themselves. So body language is really important. If you're standing in the corner and your arms are crossed or you're on your phone, people don't really feel that comfortable approaching you. And so when you're at a networking event and the intention is to meet new people and exchange information, be mindful of how your body language is coming across. Smile, shake hands, be the first person to be a contribution. And ask people, how can I be of service to you? How can I help support your success? Don't be afraid to get curious, to ask questions, and to really engage with people because you just never know where that could lead. My last tip for networking would be to view setbacks as setups for something really cool to happen. Over the years, I've networked with people that I put my foot in my mouth and I'm like, oh my goodness. I actually picked up one of my biggest clients to date because I was networking and I thought he was someone else for a few minutes until he said, no, I'm this person and this is where I work. And I was like, oh my gosh, my apologies. I thought I was talking to someone with the same name from a different company. And I was really embarrassed, but I went with it and I apologized and he had grace. We started talking and he became a client that I had for almost 12 years. So that setback or that mistake, if you will, ended up being a setup for success. On a personal note, those who are familiar with my work know that my brand is black dresses and orange heels. And I had been doing this for years, and even my logo has an orange heel in it. And this was great until I'm a former ballet dancer. My orthopedic surgeon said that he needed to put some titanium hardware in my right foot and that I wouldn't be able to wear my 5-inch heels anymore. This was devastating to me because I've built an entire brand around my orange heels that I can't wear anymore. And so I just had to embrace it. At first it was a setback to me. And I thought, the voices in my head were negative and telling me, oh, if you can't wear the 6-inch heels on stage anymore, nobody's going to want to hear you speak, right? I just had to have a meeting with myself and put myself in check and realize, hey, this is a setback. But you know what? It could be a setup for something pretty cool, which is my last story. So the very first speaking event that I did when I couldn't wear my heels that I've been wearing for years, I told the story about the voices we tell ourselves. And sometimes we talk ourselves out of talking to strangers, and that can set us back. So I told the story about my orange heel and how my orange heel was actually creating a wall, if you will. And that was my excuse for why I couldn't do the work that I wanted to do. And so in my signature keynote called Naked Networking, I started talking about how, my orange heel was the voices in my head sabotaging myself. And at the speaking event, to my surprise, at the end, people came up to me, and because I had the orange shoe on the stage, people came up and said, can I take a picture with the orange heel? And it became a thing. And then I started having people do #orange heel and tell me their story. My orange heel is I feel introverted and I don't feel comfortable talking to people. Or my orange heel is I'm scared of rejection. Or my orange heel is I really don't know what to say to people when I network. And so that setback with my surgery became a set up. And now all over the country and abroad when I speak, I do little contests where I tell people, use the orange heel hashtag. And I do drawings for t-shirts and books and free consultations with me. So while you're down in Houston, feel free to #orange heel because I'll be watching and I'll be giving away some prizes to help encourage you to continue to network smarter. As we're winding down on our time, I just want to invite you to really explore networking and have fun at the conference. You can meet some amazing people that can change your life. You can become the hero at your company because you share ideas with someone who's been in your shoes or maybe has experience with the technology or the experience in an industry or a role. And sharing that knowledge can help both people. So networking is a gift. And I just want to remind everybody that I really appreciate your time. Have fun. Keep an open mind. And I also want to invite you all to stay connected. Be safe. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the conference.